to have him killed. Oh, man. She was desperate to find a hitman. She turned to her side piece, a local pillhead businessman named Mohammed Shahada. She expressed her intention, going so far as to try and solicit any trigger man she could, anyone she could find who would do the deed. But when she stole Mohammed's handgun out of his glove box one day at a convenience store, that was the last straw for Mohammed Shahada. He went right to the Boynton Beach Police Department. This is Palm Beach County, Florida, by the way. And he told his tale of this crazy woman. Well, the coppers there, they lit up like a Christmas tree in Florida in June. And they set him up as a confidential informant or a CI. They wired him up and tapped her plans. You know, just the way she articulated it to them. They wiretapped her asking Mohammed Shahada to help her murder her husband. Well, Mohammed Shahada, he may have played a terrorist on TV with that name. You know, I think he was an extra in some show where he actually did play a terrorist. But, she wanted her husband dead. And when she stole his gun out of his glove box, like I said, he went right to the Boynton Beach Police and signed up as a CI. Now, there's an interesting side note here. Muhammad requested that they, being the cops, refrain from planting his wire anywhere near his belt line because normally when she jumped into his car, she'd drop down to blow him when he got in the car. You see, as I was saying, this story begins and ends with sex. And once the local cops had enough evidence, they probably could have arrested her right there, for the intent. But they decided to make a show out of it with a sting operation like you might see on television. Wait, you did see it on television. You saw it on Cops. You see, they put an undercover cop posing as a hitman on her. The cops recorded her offer of a payment and a plan, and then they invited these producers of Cops to join them along for the ride towards the ultimate climax. While Dalia was at the gym, they actually staged a murder scene at the home she shared with her husband, Michael Dippolito. The coppers, they yellow taped off the street around the townhouse and spirited Michael away. He was unaware of what was about to go down. Then they phoned Dalia, and they told her to come home. There'd been an accident. Something happened. She arrives, and with all the actors in place, she walks up to Detective Ramsey.
Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man. He's been killed.
You got that? Before the word killed even came out of her mouth, she was in tears.
Wow.
What a bad actress.
She sounded like a puppy, too. It was very strange.
I was getting a Mr. Bill vibe.
Well, needless to say, that clip went viral, and Dalia didn't stand a chance in court. My co-author of the book, Poison Candy, Florida State Attorney Elizabeth Parker, body slammed her with evidence in a 2-week trial wherein Dalia actually tried to, get this, make a reality show defense, claiming that she was in a reality show, that her intended victim, her husband, was actually a part of it. That was news to him. Anyway, between her first trial and unsuccessful retrial, she actually, while on home arrest, she grinched out a baby with an unknown suitor while she was on house arrest. Who do I think the dad is? I think it was his lawyer. I think it was her lawyer. And that brings us shades of Casey Anthony coloring the requiem for Poison Candy. Dalia Dippolito is now doing a hard 20 in state prison. Murder porn with a twist. Just the way I like it. Poison Candy, the book, get it, read it. American Greed tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Watch it. Good Lord.
You're all over the place, Mark.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm right here, right now with you, Carl. What's been going on? You went to Vegas last week?
Yeah, Vegas, shady, interesting town there, man. It's like, as everybody can imagine. But I was there to meet Carrot Top. And so that was an interesting story behind the story, but for another time.
Carrot Top.
Yeah. You got a scandal on him?
Not really. How much more? What can you do to damage the reputation of a prop comic?
He was actually really nice, so I'm going to refrain on air. But yeah,
You just leave it to me to make fun of him, right?
Yeah.
Professional courtesy.
But his best friend is Nicolas Cage. That's an interesting duo there, no?
Yeah. Let's go back to the top for a second with this whole Stan Lee thing, because mainly because Dr. David's a comic book fan.
I am not as much as I used to be. It's weird how much. I was big into comics in like the 90s, and it is a totally different vibe now. Both from the fan end and the business end. Used to be you'd get maybe 2 or 3 different covers, and it was widely known what was happening. Now, all the major publishers, they do like exclusives. Oh, it's a new issue with like 7 different variant covers. So the cover price on a comic, is $4, $4.95, whatever. But by the time it hits the shelf, when the box opens, it's already like $9, $10, $50. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't have the stones for it anymore. But
I understand. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that. Well, first of all, I'm not a superhero fan. I wasn't much of a comic book fan. I was more like a Harvey comics book kid.
Oh, yeah.
Or Archie and Veronica. I always wondered, I would always watch that, I read those comic books wondering what Veronica's bush was like.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean? What else did I like? Richie Rich.
Did you read the
that little demon
Gold Key comics? They had like a Twilight Zone imprint.
Well,
anyway, back in the 70s,
it just makes me think about if I can jump back a little bit to that Max Anderson skell. Stan's bodyguard slash road manager slash money handler. He has a little sideline gig. He runs the Stan Lee Traveling Museum. I bet you our friend Kevin Smith knows about that. And it also, once again, Kevin Smith, why are you getting behind Max Anderson? What is he, financing your next movie or something? Out of that theoretical, possible $20 million in cash sitting in his apartment somewhere? I don't know, but he runs the Stan Lee Traveling Museum with all of Stan Lee's memorabilia. What would that include? An Iron Man suit?
Well, you figure original sketches.
Yeah. Yeah, what else? So, all kinds of stuff. Priceless, right? He tours that around the country. And for some reason, all that memorabilia never winds up back in the hands of Stan. Now, various parties are telling me that Mr. Mac Sanderson is claiming that all that stuff is his now. Or at least that's the position he will take in the legal arena. No, it's Stan's stuff. And they're trying to get that stuff back. But Mac Sanderson, believe me, I tried to reach him. His lawyer gave me the old no comment. Oh, well. So that just compels me to go to town on Max Anderson and find out where he is, what he's doing with that money, what he's doing with, for instance, how much do you think a Iron Man bodysuit, the original, would be worth on the open market?
Easily $1 million.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And if you think of all the memorabilia that Stan Lee has amassed over the years, that's a lot of money. It's a fortune. Poor Stan Lee. Poor J.C. Lee. I have the feeling, though, I really have the feeling that at 95 years old with pneumonia, really, Stan Lee probably could care less about what's going on. It's sort of like I'm sure he embraces the truism that you can't take it with you. Just pump that guy full of morphine and, as I like to say, hang on tightly, let go lightly.
Excelsior.
Thank you. So, you're listening to The Gray Zone, listener-supported crime podcasting. If you like what you hear, why don't you break me off a piece of cabbage via PayPal to markebner59@gmail.com, and you too can become an executive producer of this podcast. Meanwhile, I'll be raking the muck for more tales that I can share with you next week, as long as I keep my ass out of Florida. Anyway, that's it. Talk to you next week on The Gray Zone.
Will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.